I'm now going to call on Adesuwa Okunbo Rhodes. Adesuwa has 12 years of investment banking, private equity, and structured credit experience in developed and emerging markets. Adesuwa is the founder and the managing partner of Adesuwa Capital Management, one of the few women-owned and led private equity funds in the continent of Africa. She's also the co-founder of Syntactus Capital Africa and currently sits on a number of boards in Nigeria, including Welsosa Greenhouse Farms and Wells Carlton Hotel and Luxury Apartments. Adesuwa, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation to provide some thoughts on this very relevant topic. And thank you everyone for your time. So as she's mentioned, I'm the founder of Adesuwa Capital Management. We are one of the few growth equity, private equity funds in the market, specifically focusing on businesses that are either providing goods and services to women or employing women through their workforce on their value chain. So I'm coming from the private angle. I'm a private investor looking to invest in private companies. So I'll be talking about the second P in PPP and talking about access to capital for private companies, how they can, get capital from investors like us before they start even thinking about potentially partnering with the government or thinking about establishing those relationships. So for us, the opportunity that we see and why we're very, very excited about the Nigerian market and the opportunity here is there are a lot of viable businesses, either with across sectors, within agriculture, within healthcare, within education, a lot of viable businesses that are looking for access to growth capital. So the stage that we're financing is we're financing.
Please, can you mute yourselves? Thank you. Sorry.
The stage that we're financing is companies that are already established, companies that they've proven their business model, but they're looking for that, that scale up capital. And there are a lot of viable businesses within this segment where the banks are not providing patient growth capital. So the banks are providing capital that is typically, short term. Interest rates are very, very high. So after you've paid interest, after you've paid principal, there's not much room for growth. So we're looking to provide alternative financing options to these businesses through the patient growth equity that we provide. Also, there are a lot of private equity funds in the market, but a lot of the private equity funds in the market, they're looking for much larger transactions. So we estimate, actually based on our own market research and our own top-down analysis, we estimate that there's currently a $58 billion capital gap for companies in Nigeria seeking capital. And the way that we've extrapolated this is, we've taken the World Bank data, where in Nigeria, when you look at the bank debt that's provided to the private sector, it's only 14% of GDP, 1/4. When you compare that with some of the G7 countries, in the UK, it's over 150%. In the US, it's over 190%. The G7 average is around 130%. And in Nigeria, we're only at 14%. So we really need companies like ours, aside from the banks, we need companies like ours that can provide alternative patient growth capital solutions for private companies so that they have alternative financing routes over and above just the banks and over and above just internal capital and family and friend capital. So for us, plugging that huge 58 billion financing gap is something that gets us excited, because there are a lot of, there are a lot of interesting things to be done in the Nigerian context across sectors. And for us, I can give an example of an investment that we've done in Nigeria. So for us, we made an investment in October last year in a company that is locally manufacturing personal hygiene products. So they're within the healthcare vertical, which is obviously very, very relevant in this COVID environment. But they're locally manufacturing sanitary pads, baby diapers, baby wipes, underlay pads that mothers use in hospitals, net maternity pads, adult diapers. They just commissioned the first adult diaper in the whole of West Africa. So that company, because we have a local manufacturing presence, in this COVID environment, we've actually seen our sales rapidly increase. We saw sales in July be the highest monthly sales figure that we've seen for a long time. So it's being able to identify these types of businesses where there's an import substitution is something that is a very, very interesting theme, where even in a Naira devaluation scenario, you're still able to protect your margins, you're still able to grow quite substantially. So we're looking for pockets of those type of investments where we can provide alternative growth solutions to businesses like this that are within strategically placed within value chains such as healthcare, such as agriculture, such as financial, non-banking financial services, financial inclusion. And the private sector really has a massive role to play even before the government gets involved. So the first thing I'm talking about is this funding challenge. The second thing I'm going to talk about is how can you access capital from investors like ourselves. And for us, the things that we look at is very, very similar to what Francis, my fellow panelist, just mentioned, is, we want to make sure that the businesses that we're supporting, they have a strong information package when they're coming to us and seeking capital. So have you thought through in depth your business plan? Have you thought through in depth, what are the different cases you're running on your financial model? A base case, a downside case, a COVID case, an upside case. You need to make sure that your financial model is not just revenue, but also what are the drivers, what are the KPIs that you're measuring for your business. So something that we always say to our entrepreneurs is you can't grow what you can't measure. So always making sure that you have relevant KPIs, relevant drivers of your business that you're keeping track of, so that investors can understand your business model very, very quickly when they see your information package. So I think for us, when we look at a lot of the requests for capital that come to us, something that we always want to see is how is this management team thinking through the KPIs of their business? Because I think a trap that a lot of entrepreneurs face is they just think revenue. They're not thinking drivers, because revenue is great, but in order to sustain the bottom line, you need to think about what is actually driving your business. What is the gross margin per SKU? What is the gross margin per segment? So really drilling down into specifics. And if we're able to see that without asking for it, then that's something that we like to see. We like to see that there's depth in the management team. We like to see that there's depth in the finance function. We're not interested in backing one-man shows. So having depth in the management team is also something that we look for when we're investing in companies. And also something else that we also look for is we want to make sure that businesses, when they're coming to us, they know their target audience. So do a little bit of research on the investor before you send us your proposal. If someone is sending us a greenfield project, for example, unfortunately, the fund that we have right now, we're not investing in greenfield projects. So do some research on the investor before you send that email, because it also bodes well for future conversations. So I think that's what I would say is, we look for, we want to make sure that the information package is good. The business plan is robust, and they've thought through drivers behind revenue, drivers behind cash flow. There are the different sensitivities across performance. And then we also want to make sure that the businesses that are requesting for capital, they have the depth in the management team, It's not a one-man show. You know, they're already thinking about corporate governance, succession planning. These are the types of things that we want to see. And also, thirdly, you know, and this is just, you know, a little bit of advice, is do some research on the investor, because it's when you're able to know your target audience and know what makes that investor tick as you're pitching your idea or your business. You can point out things that you know that are important to them, which will bode well in your pitch as well. So yeah, so for us, you know, we see access to capital as a major challenge, and we're playing our small role in the ecosystem to make sure that private companies have alternatives, financing solutions, just you know, over and above just what banks are providing. We're providing patient growth equity to businesses, and we think that that is also a key part of ensuring that the PPP ecosystem is one that can thrive, making sure that private companies actually have access to capital, because we want to be able to de-risk these businesses and these projects before approaching government. So that is me. I don't know if I have some more time, but I'll stop there, and I'll be very happy to continue the discussion and take any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was great. 58 billion capital gap. That's huge. Yes. And also, you've talked about a lot of interesting things, that you can't grow what you cannot measure. If you're looking for capital, think drivers and not just revenue, and have a depth. Pull down, be very clear in terms of the specifics. You would like to see a depth in the management team. So the business plan, the package needs to be good. The governance arrangement needs to be kosher. And what you are saying is that you are helping grow the market for women. You're also helping grow the market as an alternative to banks. You are providing capital, but in providing capital, you are not giving it away like that. People have to show what they have. And you are not currently investing in greenfield, but you would like to see companies who have actually done their research and put their information the right way. Yeah, thank you very much.